Early hours in the morning, 3:30. Another father, suicidal. Father's Day coming up Sunday. It's probably one of the worst times of the year. Any holidays, Christmas, Easter, all these kind of days. Summer holidays, spring breaks, all the holidays that come around, special occasions at school. These are what put the dampeners on parents and grandparents. Parental alienation. Parental alienation is where a child has been forced to reject the other parent. When that rejection happens, that is parental alienation. Many people don't understand parental alienation, but jump on board with it and think that their exes have stopped them having contact 3 or 4 times or a few months or whatever, had bad behaviours to try and gain the court in family, to try and gain the ground in family court, and you automatically assume that's parental alienation. It's far from. A lot of people need to realise that if you're going to lobby against something, parental alienation, understand it first. There are many people out there that have no idea whether there is parental alienation in their case or not parental alienation in their case. And yet because they are told by Tom or Dick or Harry that there's PA in there, they automatically assume that there is. There are many bad behaviours of parents, and some of them may be the alienating behaviours. That doesn't necessarily mean that all children will turn against the other parent. Is it right? No, it emotionally harms the children. Severing that relationship between healthy, loving children and healthy, loving, caring parents is emotional harm. And unless there's any safeguarding reasons to stop that contact, then that contact should be in place with the other parent. It's a very difficult task the courts have to deal with in family courts. We have already seen that 123 MPs are stating pretty much against parental alienation, and how the Women's Aid and other far-right extreme feminist groups and barristers are stating that it's simply used as an excuse to gain ground in family court, to try and sway judges. In some aspects, they wouldn't be far wrong. Just the same as there are false allegations in the family courts, I'm sure that we'll be fully aware that some may use parental alienation as the excuse. Understanding parental alienation is one of the most important things that we all have to do. Severing the relationship between children and healthy, caring parents is emotionally harming the children. Court orders that are not enforceable or not enforced psychologically harming the children. If a judge deems it fit enough for a parent to have contact and the other parent simply does not allow that contact, that is bad parenting. That is absolutely atrocious, disgusting, bad parenting. The aftermath of all of this is what we do. We pick up at Dads and Nap the many hundreds, if not thousands, that are suicidal. I myself have dealt with close to 300 suicides in the last, almost close to 300 suicides in the last 3 years. 3 years. That's people seriously suicidal. That's not people that are maybe feeling it in the back of their mind. That is people seriously suicidal, where they've even attempted it. Ambulances, police, emergency services, that's where we've been. People on bridges, having to talk them down. Look, this isn't the way to go around it. How difficult is it for these parents? It's very difficult. Because they are put through trauma. They are put through depression, stress of court, all the things no human being wants to be put through. They are forced through, including coercive PTSD. where they're forced into PTSD. It's not through accident or through something, through a job. So they've been forced through coercive PTSD. And surprisingly, it would probably shock many of you out there how many people are actually behind the abuse that happens in family courts. Many parents, mums, dads, and family members, grandparents, aunties, uncles, and even siblings are having the bonds with their children, grandchildren, etc. destroyed. Whole families because of bad parents. Some start this off because they want the gain in family courts. They want them two words, resident parent. And things go too far. There needs to be a line drawn, and that line should not be crossed where these children are simply forgotten in the family courts. And whether that's because there's money or not enough resources or whatever else, there's no excuse for it. The courts have to look at all options in contact with parents. They fail in that because they're not. We simply know that indirect contact simply does not work. How many indirect contacts should be indirect? How many reports from CAFCAS have actually put parents in indirect contact because after 2 years of going through the family courts and the children being brainwashed and God knows what else, that they turn around and say, I don't want to see my mum anymore. I don't want to see my dad anymore. After 2 years of a lot of things, how would you feel? And they just wipe it off. Write it off like a bad debt. Just gone. Up in smoke. And that child's life is affected for the rest of that child's life. Right the way through teenage years, into relationships, into adulthood, attachment disorders, mental health, all that comes along with mental health, self-harming, suicide, there'll be prostitution, drugs, alcohol, God knows what. And the mental health resources drained. The next generation. And unless something's done, it'll be the next generation. But it's understanding as well. It's people understanding that, because your ex is stopping you seeing your child, or using your child as a pawn or whatever else, for whatever reasons, that does not necessarily mean that that case has got PA in it. The courts are right when they say that some cases have not got PA. Not every case has. There may be bad behaviours. There may be a parent that is causing the denigration with their own child. There may be the bad parent that is causing the brainwashing with their own child. But if we don't get the balance right, it'll go oh so wrong. And we've seen this before. It has to be done right. And if it isn't done right, it will go oh so wrong. People put polls out. People put these out. People put that out. When many people don't know that there's parental alienation in their case. They haven't got a clue. No expert has told them. It's just maybe Sam or Thomas turned around and said, it's parental alienation. Join us, it's parental alienation. There are many cases out there where there is PA. There are many cases out there, far, far, far more, where there is emotional and psychological harm happening to children. Far more. Far, far more. And this is one of the things that the judges have actually stated themselves, from their own points of view. Anyway, thank you.